Alright, so I'm gonna be pre-flighting this airplane today. It is 6 to Alpha Whiskey, right there. We are going on a cross country to Waco today, so thought might as well do a pre-flight video. Alright, we got all this stuff. It is correct, so we don't pay for someone else's flight. Alright, got our checklist, documents. Alright, everything right there, documents looks good. Remove the control lock. Pitot tool, I'll get that when I go out there. Make sure magnetos are off, everything's off. Next is master switch, turn that on. To check the fuel quantity. It's about halfway, so alright, gonna need to fill that up. Make sure avionics are off, and now turn it on. Check the fan. Alright, that works. Turn it back off so you don't waste the battery. Next thing is flaps down. Alright, that's good. Next is the lights. Beacon on, landing on, taxi on, nav on, strobe on, pitot heat on. Alright, both of those work. Strobe, red light works. Beacon works. White light works. Strobe works, green works. Alright, check those just to make sure they work. We're not flying at night, obviously, but it's always good to check them. And turn them back off. And make sure they're off, and then master off. Make sure the fuel shutoff valve is in. So those are out, and fuel selector on both. Got my little handy fuel tester right here. It's a piece of crap, but you know. First, check the baggage door. Alright, well, that won't be coming out. Make sure that's still attached. Go around, lift these up, make sure it works. Make sure there's no frayed cables inside there, and it doesn't look like there is. Make sure all the bolts are on there. Wires aren't showing, nothing looks bad. Make sure this works, all springy. And make sure the wires are still connected. Looks good. Make sure the bolts are still on there. Wires aren't frayed. Lift it up. Don't lift it up by the trim tab because it might break it. Make sure the trim tab is connected. Still looks good. Make sure it's not loose. It looks good. Bottom is very dirty. Antennas are still there though. That's good. And then we check this. Make sure it's still attached. Make sure those aren't broken. And then the next thing, lift this up. Make sure you got a little movement there. Check inside. Make sure everything moves. The other one goes down while you push it up. And undo this. Probably should have undone the back one as well when we were over there. And get the fuel. I think there is 5 on each wing. And that looks good. Just because I don't like to waste fuel, just pour it right back in there. Just put that right there so it doesn't fly away. Check, make sure the dots align with that. sure there's nothing leaking, that's just dirty. Make sure that's good. Check this, make sure it's still attached. Next, make sure that's good, 4 fingers length. And check the oil down here. Not the oil, the, you know, fuel. And it's blue, nothing floating around in it. That looks good. Now check our oil. We're right at 6, we should probably fill that up before we go. Get my instructor to help me and do that. It takes a while, just one person. Next, make sure there's no nicks or anything on here. Make sure the cable inside here is still taut. Make sure there's nothing blocking that intake right there, or any bird's nest anywhere. Next, check your static port. Doesn't look like anything blocking it. Check your AC vent, other vent. Pitot tube, make sure nothing's blocking that. Fresh air or fuel vent. Nothing's blocking that. Nothing's blocking the stall indicator. That looks good. And this side is we're right here. Check the fuel. Alright, it looks good. Never want to waste good fuel. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in here before I finish up. Next thing, check this wheel. Make sure nothing's leaking right there for the brakes. Make sure the brakes are not broken. Things are lined up with the dot. Looks good. Check the flap on this side. Make sure nothing's broken on there. Looks good. Lift this up, other one goes down, and the wheel turns. And check that. That looks good. Go ahead, untie this tie down over here. And as you can see, did everything on here. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we did everything. Everything looks good. And we are ready to fly, except the oil, which, you know, you're gonna fill that up. Thank you for watching.